Imagine that the highly anticipated 2024 Summer Olympics gets cancelled after the constant controversies that it's been embroiled in. Who'd be the one to blame? People are calling the International Olympic Committee out on some major issues, ranging from bias towards certain countries to mismanagement in Paris, even though the event is right around the corner. In this video, we'll explore the full extent of just how terribly corrupt the truth behind the 2024 Olympics is. In February 2024, the French government decided that things were going to have to stay compact, considering how the Olympics is going to be held on the Seine River. So they cut the number of spectators for the opening ceremony along the Seine from 600,000 to 300,000, all in the name of security. The Minister of the Interior, Gérald Darmanin, pitched this plan way back in 2022 to keep things under control. But that's not all. They're also planning to throw up a security net around the spectator zone, locking it down before the ceremony. But the Parisians aren't really feeling it. Half of them are thinking about the exit during the games, and they're worried about the chaos that will ensue. Transportation and security will be deeply impacted, and they're not really excited about accommodating the event. So if Paris residents are hesitant about hosting the event, doesn't it leave a bad impression on the Olympics as a whole? Well, it gets much worse. The Times came out with crucial news about Paris 2024 security, which got everyone talking. Dragonfly, a top-notch security and geopolitics team, sounded the alarm about the terror threat level, which is still quite severe. Rumor has it that they're even worrying about the possibility of drone bombings. To do some damage control, the British Olympic Association is rolling out an app for athletes and staff. Using this, they can ping for help in a snap and even let security know where they're at. Plus, the main airports in Paris are shutting down on July 26th to make sure that security is maximized. But do these measures help ease the tension building within people due to all the threats? Not when there's a lot more happening. Things got pretty out of hand when a thief snatched a bag from a Paris town hall staff member. Shouldn't be too bad, right? Well, that bag was carrying top-secret security plans for the Olympics, which basically put the entire event at risk. The thief eventually got a 7-month stint behind bars, but who can guess where this information landed? It's not easy to give Paris the benefit of the doubt when bad things just keep happening. Back on October 18, 2023, French financial prosecutors ended up storming the Paris 2024 Olympics headquarters, getting into all of the event planners. But why? Well, they had suspicions of some shady business, like illegal taking of interest. While nothing much was proven after this event, the seed of doubt remained in the minds of everybody looking forward to the event. Not long after that, though, Azerbaijan stirred up some trouble. Apparently, they created a bunch of fake websites and social media accounts that talked about France's Olympic prowess and then hinted at a full-blown boycott of the event. But are they really trying their best to save themselves from a potential boycott? Well, their mascots were advertised as made in France, but in reality, they were straight out of China. That didn't sit well with the people of France, and it sparked a massive debate about outsourcing and national pride. The worst of it all, though, were the woke protesters. When the Olympic art dropped in March 2024, it definitely didn't sit well with everyone. Critics slammed it for scrubbing out Christian and French symbols, accusing it of rewriting history. The poster was a funky map of Paris, but people felt it missed the mark by skipping key landmarks like the Dôme des Invalides. Their comeback to the Olympics has been severely controversial. But why? It's all because of the Russian invasion of Ukraine and ongoing conflicts during the pot. Back in February 2022, the International Olympic Committee decided to ban athletes from Russia and Belarus to keep the Olympic truce intact. On the other hand, Ukrainian athletes brought up how they were dealing with missile strikes, family worries, and ruined infrastructure back home. By the time January 2023 came around, the IOC had changed its mind and decided to bring back Russian and Belarusian athletes as neutrals. A month later, the United Nations appreciated the IOC for their decision, citing that athletes shouldn't get dragged into conflicts or be discriminated against. On January 31, 2024, Russian President Vladimir Putin asked the Russian Olympic Committee and the Ministry of Sport to decide what they were going to do about the Olympics. Everyone was expecting that they would boycott, But the exact opposite happened. They decided that they would be playing. Now, this decision was not received well. Denmark, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and Ukraine all decided that they will boycott the 2024 Olympics if Russia and Belarus are playing. The IOC head, Thomas Bach, stepped in and said that governments shouldn't call the shots on athletes, so he pushed for Russian and Belarusian reinstatement. Then, in March 2023, the International Fencing Federation broke the ice, welcoming back Russian and Belarusian athletes and officials and preparing for the 2024 Games. But wait, Denmark, France, Germany, and Poland pulled the plug on upcoming World Cup fencing events to keep out the Russians and Belarusians. By May 2023, the International Canoe Federation hopped on board, letting Russian and Belarusian athletes back in, making it 10 summer sports federations bringing them back. However, that didn't mean that the conflict was resolved. Several countries were still not okay with this decision. Now, if you think that the IOC was being unfair, make sure to like and subscribe so that you can follow along with similar content. Well, then something strange happened. A few months later, in October 2023, the International Olympic Committee suspended the Russian Olympic Committee. This came as a surprise, but it turned out that the ROC got itself into a pickle by absorbing Ukrainian sports organizations from annexed Ukrainian turf into their own setup. That was a direct violation of the Olympic Charter, messing with the integrity of the Ukraine Olympic Committee. Russia took the issue to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, but by February 2024, their appeal was shot down. Tensions between the IOC and ROC heated up even more after Thomas Bach, the boss of the IOC, claimed that Russia had brought it upon itself. So, within just a few months, the Olympics managed to get several countries angry, making them feel unseen and unheard on several occasions. But it didn't stop at Russia. Things got quite problematic due to the Israel-Hamas conflict, to the point where the IOC had to step in and issue a warning to Arab and pro-Palestinian athletes. Basically, if they refused to compete with Israeli athletes, they risked getting removed from the Games. This whole situation came under the spotlight when Algerian judoka Fethi Nourin got a 10-year suspension by the International Judo Federation for pulling out of a match against Israeli athlete Tohar Butbul during the 2020 Summer Olympics. The IOC spokesperson clarified that athletes shouldn't be held accountable for their government's actions. They promised swift action, just like what happened during the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. On the other side of the coin, Palestinian and Arab sports groups were calling for sanctions against Israel, pushing to keep them out of the 2024 Summer Olympics because of the ongoing war. This stirred up comparisons to Russia and Belarus, who were banned after Russia's Ukraine invasion, with their athletes only allowed under the individual neutral athletes banner. 26 left-leaning French lawmakers sent a letter to the IOC, urging for sanctions against Israel and even suggesting Israeli athletes compete neutrally, similar to what the Russians and Belarusians did. Their argument was based on the Israeli war crimes in the Gaza Strip. This push for a ban gained traction in January 2024, when over 300 Palestinian sports clubs demanded Israel's exclusion from the Games, after Israeli airstrikes took out the Palestine Olympic football team's coach and damaged the Palestine Olympic Committee's Gaza headquarters. But in March 2024, IOC President Thomas Bach brushed off concerns about Israel's participation, saying it's a non-issue. Paris Mayor Anne Hidalgo also shut down the idea of sanctions against Israel, calling them a democracy. Including Russia in the Olympics came with several obstacles. There's the concern they'll have to play in different stadiums around France and stay outside the heavily guarded Olympic Village. Organizers will have to make sure that special measures are in place to ensure Israeli teams feel safe. Now, the IOC's treatment of the conflict over Israel's involvement in the Olympics led to some pretty serious accusations. Russia accused them of playing favorites, claiming double standards for not taking action against Israel's military moves in Gaza, especially since Palestine is also part of the IOC. The IOC's comeback was that the decisions regarding Russia and Belarus were based on the Olympic truce violations, Russia's Olympic Charter breaches post-Ukraine annexation, and their prior violations in 2008 and 2014. If you enjoyed this content, check out another one of our videos on our channel. Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.